Tuscaloosa to frenzy.
Firing. Touchdown, Alabama.
SEC champions, Alabama, Crimson Tide.
We talked about Alabama.
Step back three, money! And the Alabama Crimson Tide will roll into the Final Four.
You roll Tide. Roll Tide and welcome to TideTV This Week. I'm Roger Hoover, joined by Chloe Rigdon. And Chloe, it's great to be with you once again for another episode. How's everything going? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Roger. I'm happy to be here, and the Tide has given us a lot of success to cover recently.
Absolutely. We've had some great postseason performances from the Crimson Tide basketball teams this year. Sarah Ashley Barker set records with 45 points in the second round matchup against Maryland, and the Crimson Tide men's basketball team also set several records in the round of the Sweet 16.
And that round of 16 matchup for the second seed Crimson Tide was a 6th seed BYU Cougars. That took place this past Thursday in Newark, New Jersey.
Story of the game was certainly Alabama's three-point shooting. Crimson Tide making an NCAA tournament record 25 three-pointers. Sears knocked down 10 of those 25 shots from beyond the arc. Aiden Holloway knocked down 6 three-point shots, while Chris Youngblood made 5.
In addition to setting records from beyond the arc, the Crimson Tide also set new school marks for most points scored in an NCAA tournament game with 113 most three-pointers attempted with 51. The Crimson Tide advanced to the Elite Eight for the third time in school history with a 113-88 win.
I was just in the zone, once I seen the first three fall in, I felt like the basket was like big as an ocean, and every time I shot, I felt like it was going in. So yeah, I just lost myself in the game, and just let everything else happen.
Told Mark he's playing chess, not checkers. He just kind of set everybody up with that 5 of 35, thinking he was in a slump and he's going to come out, shoot like 63%, ain't bad. So 10 threes, I think first guy in NCAA tournament history, I was told, that had at least 8 threes and 7 assists. So, not only was he scoring it, he was moving it. Helps to get assists when you got guys like CY and Aiden Holloway making shots like they did too. So between these three guys, we had 21 threes. It's, we've hit 22 before a couple times, I think maybe 23. We've never hit 25.
Those 25 threes broke the NCAA tournament record that had been held by Loyola Marymount since 1990, as they hit 21 threes in a second-round win over Michigan.
That win over the Cougars also broke a record for head coach Nate Oates. He surpassed Wimp Sanderson on the all-time NCAA tournament wins for the Crimson Tide. Coach Oates now has 11 tournament wins as head coach of the Crimson Tide.
The win sent the Crimson Tide to the Elite Eight for the second year in a row. Alabama is the number 2 seed, squared off with the number 1 seed, Duke Blue Devils. Unfortunately, Crimson Tide would not be able to repeat making it to the Final Four again this year, as the Blue Devils' size and athleticism kept Alabama from getting into a rhythm offensively.
After knocking down an NCAA tournament record 25 threes against BYU, the Tide was able to convert just 8 of 32 from beyond the arc. Alabama held freshman star Cooper Flagg to just 16 points, but in the end, the Blue Devils were too much as the Tide season ended in the Elite Eight.
We were all hoping for another Final Four run, but to just make it back to the Elite Eight in back-to-back years, quite an accomplishment, especially when you consider Alabama had only been to 1 Elite Eight prior to last season.
And Roger, it was such a fun season filled with many great memories, and how special was that win for the Tide to advance to the Elite Eight again?
Well, the Tide had the sports world's attention with that performance. Let's take an all-access look at that historic game as Alabama scored 113 points and made an NCAA tournament record at 25 three-pointers.
BYU, I believe, is the future.
I like that BYU team.
BYU is going to destroy Alabama in the Sweet 16.
And then BYU-Alabama, I think, is going to be a wild game. I like BYU. How about that?
We just got to impose our will for 40 minutes on these guys. You've got to impose your will athletically, physically on these dudes for 40 minutes starting right out of the gate. Everybody's got to be into this thing. There's no tomorrow.
I heard they said they got BYU. Ain't nothing else need to be said, man.
Blake stops, throws it, batted away by Cliff into the beautiful bounce pass. Ahead to Grant for the flood. What a great feed from Darion Reed. Gives it off to Mark. He'll step into one. Five. Mark Christopher Sears knocks home another. And the steps back. 3. Oh, he's hot. He's hot. 17 from Mark Sears. Chris for 3. Got another one. Woo, mercy. A dozen. Blocked by Nelson. 3. No good. Long rebound tipped out to Mark. All alone. Bottom.
Mark Sears so good after offensive rebound. Missed shots by the team.
Down on the clip for the Flood. Hayden does. Bottom. Hayden Holloway. Near side 3. He's red. Smoking hot. Hayden Holloway. Woo! Scorching hot. He checked. Oh, and it hadn't fallen down at all. Poked away. Stolen by Holloway. Hayden gets in front court. Behind the back pass. Sears. Deep 3. Bottom. Red, smoking hot is Alabama. Timeout, BYU. Kicking into the corner. Youngblood's turn.
And that's 21 made threes. Mark Sears drives the base.
Max Garnowski in for Alabama. Left alone for 3. Icing on the cake. The 25th made three-pointer on 51 attempts for Alabama. Ball game. And let's get out of here and head to the Elite Eight again. Sometimes we play the song because it's tradition. Sometimes we play it because it absolutely applies. 113 to 88. The Tide rolls over the Cougars of BYU. Alabama advancing to the Elite Eight for the second consecutive year.
Hey, I got together, you got we win. Together?
Tide TV This Week is presented by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide, the University of Alabama, where legends are made.
In every moment, greatness awaits. For the bold, the visionary, and those ready to take their shot. Here, we don't chase success, we define it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. I'm Roger Hoover, joined by Chloe Rigdon. Chloe, it was a huge weekend for the Crimson Tide. Along with the NCAA tournament, the Alabama baseball and softball teams were also here hosting top 15 opponents.
And Roger, we start with the 12th ranked Alabama baseball team as the Crimson Tide hosted the 9th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. The Tide won the series over the Sooners, winning games 1 and 3.
Let's take an all-access look at Alabama's series win over number 9 Oklahoma.
Good evening and a big welcome to you from the University of Alabama, where tonight from Sewell Thomas Stadium we have another top 15 showdown as the number 12 the University of Alabama Crimson Tide will host and take on the University of Oklahoma. They come in ranked 9th in the nation. Just a gorgeous night to start this weekend. A big series between Alabama and Oklahoma. For Alabama, it will be left-hander Zane Adams, unblemished so far at 4-0. He has made 6 starts. Alabama has won all 6 of his starts. Crowd gets behind him, looking for a 1-2-3 inning.
The shortstop, Justin LeBron, closes out a 1-2-3 inning.
Swing, a line drive towards short past the glove of Willits. That's a base hit for Torres with 1 out. Ball 4, and the Tide have 2 runners on as Garrett Staten steps in. And that's lined out to the alley in left center field. That will not be caught. Around third, Torres, he scores, and it's a double standing for Staten. Top of third, 2-0. Alabama pitch swung on, and another amazing catch by Fowler.
First-round talent right here. Witherspoon against LeBron.
Here's LeBron, right field deep. Back goes Christensen. It is guts on LeBron.
LeBron homers for the Tide.
Sidearm from the hip, and it's right on the money.
2 outs, bases cleared. Here's Justin LeBron. Lines one into left field. That's going to drop. LeBron cruises into second with a double. And now it sets up Snell. Ground ball. It's headed up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. LeBron with great speed around third. He will score without a throw. The edge of their seats here at Alabama, waiting to explode, and they want to celebrate a victory. Swung on, bounce to LeBron, it's short, he runs to second, ball game is over. Alabama gets the win. What a ball game to open up this series. From the Thomas Stadium, Game 3, the rubber game. Today will be the series finale. Game 3 of 3, Alabama against Oklahoma.
There's going to be a little bit of range. If I come and go a little bit, working on the little stuff, let's execute at a high level, do those little things at a really, really high level. Let's go have stroke one now.
Pitch is swung out, high fly, right field hit well. Gonzo Torres, a 3-run shot.
Hodo sends a deep drive to left. This is well back and gone. Hodo with a solo shot makes it 5-1.
And the 0-1. Swung on, grounded to Hodo at first, and that will do it. Hodo waves off the pitcher. Osmer gets to the bag. Alabama takes 2 out of 3 from Oklahoma. Here in the 9th, 3 up and 3 down.
And with that series win over 9th-ranked Oklahoma, Crimson Tide soared into the top 10 in this week's rankings, with a unanimous agreement on where the Tide should be ranked. Every poll had the Crimson Tide at number 8 this week.
The now 8th-ranked Crimson Tide returned to the Diamond on Tuesday night as Alabama hosted Samford. The Crimson Tide jumped up on the Bulldogs 5-0 through the first 2 innings. Alabama added 5 more runs in the 5th to take a 10-2 lead.
Samford would rally, scoring 7 runs in the 7th, but the combination of Hagan Banks and Carson Osmer held the Bulldogs scoreless over the final 2 innings of play, as Alabama held on for the 11-9 win. With the win over Samford, Alabama improved to 26-4 overall and is now 6-3 in SEC play. Alabama hits the road this weekend as the Crimson Tide will travel to 16th-ranked Auburn for a 3-game series.
Also hosting a top 15 opponent was the Alabama softball team as the Tide hosted the 15th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama dropped Game 1 of the series in a tough 4-3 matchup on Friday night, but bounced back with the wins on Saturday and Sunday to take the series.
Let's take an all-access look at Alabama's series win over the 15th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs.
Game 2 between number 25 Alabama and number 17 Georgia, a senior out of Dandridge, Tennessee, Caitlin Riley. And a strikeout to start. Called strike 3. 2 in the first for Riley. Valentine, that is a way to cash in. 2-run homer to deep center. Alabama strikes first here in the 2nd. Rip to 2nd. Heflin's flip. Oh, a double play. The acrobatics from Salyn Hawkins. She crushes that. Heflin hitless no more. 2-run shot. What a way to get the bat going in this series. Bama leads it 4-1. But Riley has momentum herself. 3rd strikeout of the game, and there's 1 down. Swing and a miss, and a little fire from Caitlin Riley. But Alabama escapes. Tied 5-4 over Georgia in Game 2.
The rubber match here, Game 3.
I mean, really, Alabama is just putting on an offensive clinic right now.
Home run number 6, and Alabama on the board first. Looped into left center. That'll drop for a base hit. And coming around to score is Vandegrift to make it 4-2. Left field on a rope and off the top part of the wall. 1 run is in, just 1 initial run, and now 2 more as the throw got past 3rd base. Hammered. Deep left, off the top of the wall. Alabama leads it 6-4. This one into right field. 1 run is in. Here comes Pruitt, 2-run score. Valentine, back-to-back games with 2 RBIs. She strikes out. First for Brisk, fascinating. That's a called strike 3. And the punch out, 4 strikeouts for Jocelyn Brisky. That will do it. 8-5 is the final in Tuscaloosa.
That was the first SEC series win of the season for the Crimson Tide. Alabama returned to action on Tuesday night as the Crimson Tide hosted a doubleheader against a couple of in-state teams.
The first matchup of that in-state doubleheader came against the Hornets of Alabama State.
After scoring a run in the first, Abby Dukeshire added another in the second with this shot over the wall in center field. Up 3-0, the Hornets took the lead with a 4-run inning in the third. But Riley Valentine delivered the game-winning runs in the bottom of the third. This shot to straightaway center field was good for 3 runs, as the Crimson Tide got the victory in Game 1, 6-4.
In Game 2 against Sanford, Alabama scored 3 in the first, led by Abby Dukeshire with her second home run of the day. In the fourth, a Callie Hevelin double to center scored Larissa Pruitt and Audrey Vandegrift to make it 5-0. Then Brooke Elstad brought Hevelin home with this shot to left center to make it 7-0 Crimson Tide. Sanford picked up 3 unearned runs in the sixth, but it wouldn't matter as Alabama swept the doubleheader with the 9-3 win.
With the 2 wins in that doubleheader, Patrick Murphy's squad improved to 27-13 overall.
This weekend, the Tide travels to Baton Rouge for a 3-game series against 5th-ranked LSU.
The Alabama football team continued spring practice this week.
And the Alabama gymnastics team hosts the NCAA Regionals.
We'll have that and more coming up next, right here on TideTV This Week.
TideTV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
College baseball is the best. College baseball in this league is the absolute best of the best because you get the energy, you get the crowd, you get all that. You got 6,000 people in there and that place rocking. That's why you come play college baseball right there.
Roll Tide! I'm Roger Hoover alongside Chloe Rigdon, and this is TideTV This Week. Chloe, spring is here. It's already April, and next weekend is A-Day weekend.
I can't wait, Roger. The Tide will be back in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Baseball and softball will be in action, along with track and field.
And preparing for that A-Day weekend, the Alabama football team continued practice this week. Coach DeBoer and the Crimson Tide wrapped up week number 4 of spring practice as Alabama practiced 3 times this week. Alabama held practices on Monday and Wednesday with a scrimmage inside Bryant-Denny Stadium on Friday.
The Crimson Tide will wrap up spring practice with the annual A-Day event on April 12th at Saban Field inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Admission is free and it begins at noon.
The Alabama gymnastics team will begin NCAA championships competition this weekend as the Tide hosts the Tuscaloosa Regional. Alabama will take part in Session 1 on Friday along with Cal, Iowa, and North Carolina. Top 2 teams from Session 1 will square off against the top 2 from Session 2 coming up on Sunday.
The top 2 finishers from Sunday's regional final will advance to the NCAA National Championships in Fort Worth, Texas, beginning on April 17th.
Yeah, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to get to host right here at home. It's definitely an advantage for us from a standpoint of it's familiar. There's already so many unfamiliar factors that go into a regional championship or any competition for that matter. And so to be able to walk into a familiar arena with fans that we recognize, with the sights and the sounds that are all the same, I think it just brings a comfort, it brings a confidence. We know that our fans are on our side. And that's exciting that we can go out there and just make our community proud by being us, by just staying focused on what we can do. And we're excited to get to perform in Coleman one last time this season.
And congratulations to Gabby Gladio and Lily Hudson. The duo picked up 4 All-America honors between the two. Both are first-team All-America on floor exercise and second-team in the all-around.
Stay with us. We still have a lot to cover, including more All-America honors for the Crimson Tide. That's coming up next, right here on TideTV This Week.
Is here in front of a full house at the Rhodes House.
It goes to the wall and it's gone!
We're going to be filled with Mudita like you wouldn't believe.
But this is a team that has been there, done that in terms of its history.
And we're going to do whatever we need to do to get back to Oklahoma City.
Roll Tide, and welcome back to Tide TV This Week. I'm Chloe Rigdon, and he's Roger Hoover. And Roger, we've already talked about several All-America honors for the Crimson Tide, but we still have some more.
And the Alabama women's swimming and diving team picking up several All-America honors last week. It was the men's turn this week.
The Alabama men's swimming and diving team finished 13th at the NCAA championships. The Crimson Tide men also picked up 14 All-America accolades, as well as breaking several school records.
Charlie Hawk led Alabama with 4 All-America honors. Hawk earned first-team honors in the 200 and 500 freestyle and the 800 freestyle relay, while finishing with second-team honors in the 400 freestyle relay. He also set a school record in all 4 events.
The Alabama track and field team picked up several top finishes at the Battle on the Bayou meet in Baton Rouge.
And with her performance at the Texas Relays, Caitlin Adele picked up her first career SEC weekly honor.
Adele was named the Women's SEC Freshman of the Week for her performance in the heptathlon. Her 5,587-point total is the second most in program history, only 86 points shy of the program record. Throughout the 2 days, Adele accumulated top 2 finishes in the high jump, long jump, javelin, and shot put.
3 golfers finished in the top 15, led by freshman Nick Gross as he carded a 4/220 to finish 10th. The 14th-ranked Alabama men's golf team finished 4th on Tuesday at the Maridoe Intercollegiate in Carrollton, Texas. Crimson Tide ended the tournament with a team total of 25 over par, 889.
Stay with us. We'll have our plays and players of the week coming up next right here on Tide TV This Week.
College baseball is the best. College baseball in this league is the absolute best of the best because you get the energy, you get the crowd, you get all that. You got 6,000 people in there and that place rock, and that's why you come play college baseball right there.
BYU turns it right back over. And on the run, Grant Nelson. Sears, the lefty, knifes a three-pointer. Morey saves it, gets it back. Sears, number 10.
Gives it off to Sherrill. Icing on the cake.
Into foul territory. Fowler makes the catch for the out. Back up the middle for Gabe Snell. Alabama's tied it up on the RBI single by Snell. Bodner crushes it. High, deep left center. Off the wall. Alabama takes the lead.
Rip to third. The dive will get the double play. Rip to second. Heflin's flip. Oh, a double play.
Turned it over. On the break, Reed off the glass. What a finish. Flag gets a step. Oh, Grant Nelson meets him at the apex.
First pitch swinging deep to right field. Horton reaches, but it's gone. 3-run homer, Jason Torres. Back up the middle to Finateri. Fastball lined into right field. Fowler makes the catch for Alabama.
Valentine to center. She can't get it. Just like that, Alabama answers to go up 6-4.
Those are our ATI plays of the week. Now let's take a look at our players of the week, brought to you by Legacy of Hope.
And we go with a record-setting performance from the Alabama men's basketball team. The Tide made the Elite Eight in back-to-back years for the first time in program history, and a big part of that was due to the play of the Tide's guard from Muscle Shoals.
As they say in NBA Jam, Mark Sears was on fire. Crimson Tide knocked down an NCAA tournament record 25 three-pointers, and Sears had 10 of those, one shy of an NCAA record. Sears also became the first player in NCAA tournament history to finish with at least 8 threes and 7 assists.
And congratulations to the Alabama Adapted Athletics women's wheelchair basketball team. Talk about a dynasty, Roger. They won their 5th consecutive national championship this past weekend with a 67-52 win over UT Arlington.
Now, 5 national championships in a row. That is really sensational.
They have been dominating. It's incredible, and they have so much to be proud of. But next week is A-Day weekend, Roger, so we'll have a lot to talk about leading up to that.
Looking forward to that, and we hope to see you back here next week for another episode of Tide TV This Week. Until then, have a great weekend, everyone. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield.